It is time for our first off season here with the San Diego State Aztecs after a very successful year one. Didn't end up necessarily how I would always want to. I always want to win the national championship. That's how we come in with this mindset. But very successful nonetheless. 11-3, best record we've had in the last 5 seasons. And end up with us getting a bowl victory, but not the conference championship. So we have our new goals set in sight. Make sure you guys leave a like, comment, subscribe as we jump into our first ever off season of the year. And the first thing we're getting into, something we already knew, the transfer portal, players leaving. And right off the bat, Trey White is wanting to go, but he's wanting to go because he's wanting to go to the draft. Projected round 3 pick at 91 overall. He does have some room here to still grow with his finesse moves, his power. So we could look into possibly bringing him back with a high chance to maybe increase his draft stock. I know one of the goals is trying to get a player drafted in the first 2 rounds. So maybe one more phenomenal season like he had last year could get him into that top 2 round conversation. And of course, we have other guys, big name guys leaving like Tanu Latuli, Dale-Sean Stanley, Jared Clore. But outside of that, it's pretty much a lot more of depth players. You know, I'm glad we didn't see Byron Caldwell on here. I don't know how he had, what is that called? A deal breaker all season. So I'm just glad we didn't lose him. But now we're going to go and try to persuade some of these players back. We have 8 persuasion chances and get started with us losing Caden Ellis here at right guard. We're going to go with Tanu Latuli with a medium chance. He decides to stay here at the school. So we're keeping our Mike backer. Dale-Sean Stanley, low chance. He's going to go ahead and leave too. So we're losing our free safety. McClure with medium is going to stay. So we keep at least a little receiver depth. Tight end here. Ban, why don't you just get some tight end depth? He decides to go ahead and stay back here with us at left guard here to get some O-line depth. Warner with a high chance ends up coming back too as well with that 79 overall. We're going to try here Jarrett with a high chance. He decides to stay. We're going to lose out on old Bliss because he had a very low chance of persuading. I didn't want to waste a chance on him. But here with Trey White, we are going to try to see if we can persuade him to come back just to help him improve his draft stock. This is also about keeping a good defensive line piece for us, one of our best player on the team. But I want to see if we can get him drafted higher than that. So no draft picks, obviously, at all this season. But I think we could have a handful next year with Jaden, Cardell, and Trey White all staying. We could have 3 draft picks next year alone. Now, I did check on some of the other teams in our division to see if anybody else had any. New Mexico State did not. Also looking for, I'm trying to go in order here. Remember some of our at least heavy hitters in the conference here. Hawaii did not have any. Fresno State had one guy going the 6th round, a cornerback, Azilion Hamilton. Nice. Okay, so 88 overall, going 6th round is crazy. Boise State had 4. Round 2, round 3, and 2 round 7s, including Malik Sherrod. That boy shredded our defense, and he's only a 7th round running back. Our run defense needs a lot of work. If we were able to give up that much to him and he's going 7th round, that is terrible. Now, of course, after that, we can now focus back on our team and rebuilding. What we have here, along with our incoming freshmen, as you see, Ntuznosa Unwalu is an elite development athlete here who we hope to put at quarterback. So I'm going through here trying to check on all the development traits of all of our players here. Elite development, I think, is the highest you can get. So he's going to really be a boost to this team, especially if he's going to be our quarterback. And with Jaden not leaving for the draft or anything, that's going to be a big problem. There is Taylor Acosta at Mike linebacker is also elite. So we have 2 elite prospects coming in, 1 4-star, 1 3-star. So that should be a decent overall starting point and elite development. We did sign back Lazuli at Mike backer, but we might have to get Acosta some play time. As we look at here, the board, no 4-stars really interested in us, recommended, but a lot of 3-stars, especially at the DB room and a couple quarterbacks. But halfback is a spot that I wanted to look at here because we did lose at least one of our halfbacks there in Sutton. He's out of there. So I'm going to look here at Andrew Paul as a transfer possibility. We're 10th on his board. We're going to, of course, look O-line because we have a lot of shoes to fill in that spot. As you can see by the team needs, we need 6 at tackle, 5 at guard. So I'm going to put 3 tackles here on the board, at least there up near the top. I want to see if any like 4-stars were interested in us and all. Here goes Caleb Lamulu, a 4-star, has his 4th on his board. I don't know why I wouldn't recommend me a 4-star that I'm in the top 5 for, but we'll go ahead and get him entered to the board. Henry Tabanasi here has his 5th on his board. We'll attempt that too as well. At D tackle, we're going to look here at Brownlow Daly, 4-star recruit, 3-star recruit here in Roberts, KT Shea. I think that's how you would say that here at safety, as we did lose Dale-Sean Staley. So looking for a good safety replacement here, as we're 3rd on his board as a 3-star. transfer recruit. Strong safety 2 as well, just in case. It can never hurt to get too many bodies on the squad. So I'm going to add at least one more 4-star prospect here with Fontenette 5th on his board. We'll see if we can rise up some of those boards as we go to fill up our targets board here. You see we're at 38-35, ends up being 31-35 when it's all said and done. And we already have some recruits here that we still haven't even finished from the regular season. So like Gaddis here, Keen, Speluvede, Thornton, Latua, Yelk, Rosnow. We have to get them back on board. Now, we took off all the recruiting for them just so I can get the points reallocated. So, of course, they already have their scholarships. We already have them fully scouted. You can schedule visits, which I didn't know in the offseason, which is actually pretty cool. But I'm not scheduling visits for any of these guys here that are still coming out of high school. We're number 1 on a lot of their boards, close to finishing them out. I'm giving them kind of bare minimum, except for Keen here, who we're 2nd on his board. So I'm going to go ahead and thought about sending the house, but it looks like we might have some good pitches here for a hard sell, and I think a hard sell does more than sending the house. So I'm going to come down here to a hard sell and see if we have one that mixes campus lifestyle. We do. Campus personality, campus lifestyle, play style, and playtime, which are all at A's in all his top 3 favorite things. So we might be able to go and turn that battle around. But everybody else is going to pretty much get just like a DM, 10 points here, because you can see we're almost close to finishing up their bar. And even if we don't fill up their bar, if we're the top team with the scholarship offered, I'm pretty sure they're going to just decide to come to us. So anybody that we're 2nd on, though, we're going to get a little extra, like sending the house here for Latuli. We're number 2 on his board at halfback, and we're kind of weak at that position right now with only 2 active people on the roster. But our receivers, we got plenty of depth at that position. Kenyon Rusu, who looks like a quarterback option too as well. We're going to go ahead and offer him 10. And then Prince Nwosu, another receiver. It looks like we have like 3 possible receivers we could be adding. And actually one already signed, so 4 that we could be adding here. Now, as far as the new recruits, though, Andrew Paul here, we're going to obviously offer a scholarship to all the recruits. I didn't even do much scouting. I didn't even waste time scouting. Like, these guys are coming in as transfers. They have to have some type of skill. And they're highly rated, so I didn't even really do too much scouting. I pretty much just offered the scholarship. We had 750 points to use, so I'm offering scholarships and sending the house on everybody to give myself the best chance to getting at least the players that I really want. So you see here going across the offensive line, just handing out scholarships, handshakes everywhere. I've got plenty to offer out. I got 35 to do. We've only offered out 23. So of course everybody's going to get one of them. I'm looking at where our position is at on their board. Let me know what you guys do with your scouting. Down below, let me know what you guys do when you're looking at scouting. When do you kind of deem a battle like unwinnable and you just drop out of the recruit? Me personally, I hate having to drop out of a recruit, so I'm going to the very last bit until they sign with the other team. I'm still going to hold out hope. So you can see here, we're giving just everybody, just contact, friends, and family, just 25 across the board for our offensive tackles there. It seemed like the best way to allocate that. We only have 1 guard here. We're 4th on his board. Looks like it's a pretty close battle, so we'll obviously offer him the scholarship. Just go with another contact, friends, and family for him. Center, we only have 1 here. We're going to offer him the scholarship as well. Contact, friends, and family. It just seemed like the best thing to do. I don't want to full out sell out for these guys and give up 50 points and waste all my points. But, it's still a pretty high amount. Still gives you a pretty good bonus. Now, if I notice, another thing that I'm trying to do too is get some of those question marks filled out so we can either get these visits scheduled or get these hard sells and soft sells going, or maybe even swing a couple players. But we're just trying to get as many of these guys wrapped up here as possible, offering scholarships basically to all 31 of them, just since we have the room. And of course, if they choose other teams, we'll get more scholarships to add more people back. So finishing out the last rounds here of our first session. This is like week 1 of basically 4 weeks of the off season, where you get to just kind of put everybody initially on the board, offer out your initial offers, and we will see what the first week has in terms of how many players decide to come here and how many players decide to go somewhere else. So here goes our first first commit is James Pelota at Mike linebacker. So you see everybody else commit going to their top 8s and top 5s in schools, mainly a lot of them going top 8. But you see we're first on a lot of people here. Keen first, Yelk first. We're at 4th for Fontanelli. Looks like we actually still moved up though in his ranks. 1st for Paul, 2nd for Balinkov at right tackle, and Tawanu at right tackle. 1st for Talenzi, Morley, Brownlee Dindy. 2nd for Phillips. 1st for Shea, and 1st for Mitchell. So we got some tough battles here coming, but a lot of these guys were first on their board, so we could be getting a lot of transfers coming in. And we definitely want to hit home these 4 stars. So we're 5th and 4th in the 2 4-star races. So we definitely want to try to bring those 2 guys in if we can. So it's time to go ahead and reallocate some of these points as we look back through, kind of see where we made some pacing and some moves here. We moved up to number 8 there on Haynes's board, moving up to 1 there, up to 4, up to 1 for Mitchell. So as you can see, it's going to be a grind. We're going against, a lot of other schools that need this. I mean, like here in this battle for Fontenelle, we're going against Texas, USC here for this battle. So I'm going to really have to probably throw in more than just 30 points here for friends and family and social media. Now, I would love to do a visit here, but we don't have any of his top offers. I don't know if he's going to like any of the things that we have an A in. So it might be a waste to do a visit here, although it might be what it takes to get him in here. I'm going to go ahead and actually just try to at least go with a send the house. At least that way maybe we can get some more information. Maybe schedule a visit for weeks 3 and 4, just not week 2. KT Shea here. Looks like we have him at 25. Not too much information, but way leagues ahead in that battle. We're at number 2 for Phelps, right behind UNLV. So not losing this one here. And we actually jumped up drastically. I think we jumped over 4 and 3 to get all the way up here since 3 didn't move. So 2 jumps on the schools there. I think we might be fine here with just at least improving this friends and family. I was just going with like a send the house here since we have, enough here to send the house for 3 more people too and get points back. So Ben Roberts. Looks like we're 3rd on his board, moving up a little bit more. Okay, I did not finish scouting here, so I'm not sure if maybe it might necessarily be worth it, but I'm going to go ahead and try to send the house with the information that we do know, even if he's not that great as added depth, so I'll take it here. Brownlow is a 4-star, going up against Miami, Florida State, Ohio State. This is why we talking about. Do y'all leave this battle right here? Would that be a type of battle that you would leave or keep pursuing? That I don't know, but I don't think we're going to get 2 defensive tackles here in this class. Lamu. I was hoping that Texas and Florida State wouldn't offer him a deal here, but as a 4-star, it makes sense. They're going to give him an offer here, and at least now we're behind them, but pretty close still. He might want to consider the playing time that he would get here at San Diego State, which is great. Reno. Looks like we're battling with San Jose State. They also offered him a scholarship here, so we're just a little bit behind. At 25 points, we might be able to recover that. Same thing here for actually these next 2 offensive tackles. We're battling with Hawaii for both of them. I can't let them beat me in both of these battles, so I'm going to go for the one that's better here. I'm going to add at least, another DM to both of them and see if we can get back into these 3 tackle races, because we really need offensive line help. And if I'm not going to be able to get one of my top options, I at least want to be able to get a lot of quality depth. So one more commit here is Clayton Keene. Actually ends up coming to our school. The 2-star right edge ends up pulling up over here to San Diego State. So another commit. As you can see, everybody else is reaching their top 5s now. So a lot of visits can start going down. We're first in a lot of categories, except still Brownlow I see down there. We're still at 5th in his. It looks like we matched back up here in the tackle, overtaking Hawaii for one of them, but we're still in 2nd for the 3rd. We actually came over top of San Jose State for them. Still battling with Texas here for Lamu. Morley, we're at number 1. Some of these were actually pretty handily in number 1. Here, he's about to get his cutoff to his top 3, and we are on the outside looking in with, looks like barely any points at all. I know I had that thing filled up at least a little bit. That's got to be off. Ben Roberts here, we're number 2, fighting. Overtopped there for Phelps over UNLV. So now we have some of these battles starting to get wrapped up here, and we have some of these visits that could go out. We can kind of take off these points here. A visit's only 10 hours too of practice here, and now I could do a hard sell here, and we have one that fits 2 A's and one that's just questionable. But one thing I did notice is, and I will come back and you'll see, we'll come back to it. When you schedule a visit, I forgot that you schedule a visit with off of 1 need. I don't know if that's changed from the regular season. I'm pretty sure the regular season still had 3 needs as if you were hard selling, but when you schedule a visit, you only need 1 thing that you're focusing on. So if we have 1 green check mark and it's on one of them A pluses, you best believe that I'm about to go ahead and just schedule a visit. Now, I try to do it for Fontella here. He has both of his visits already booked up with other teams, so we won't be able to get him in. So we're going to have to just go with the hard sell here and hope that he has green here on the 2 things that we have A on, because the only other option here would be to just send the house. So we just go ahead and do that and add a DM player visit to at least get 50 hours on him. Going back here to Luke, as we already have his friends and family DM player, we're going to go ahead and change that up here. So he's got an A in lifestyle, A in play style. So we could honestly go with that campus hero again if we need to. But I'm going to go with scheduling a visit. And this is where I learned that you only needed just 1. I didn't have to go with like a full trio. So here, we'll just go with like playing style or campus lifestyle, since they're both at an A. A is better than A minus. So we'll go with the campus lifestyle there. Get him a visit to come on in. And then try to do a hard sell right behind it. to match up with those 3-2 as well. So campus personality for Luke here to try to bring him in and then add on a DM to player. We have plenty of hours to spend here in the offseason with 750. Thankfully, this will help us get a lot of these guys signed up here and move to the team. Justin, do the same thing here. We're going to do his play time since that's at an A+ for him to get him on a visit. Now, we don't want it to be complimentary with another offensive tackle, so we're going to go on week 4. And with our halfback here, Andrew Paul, we are going to match him up with an offensive lineman. I would think that he's got to care about playing time, but we also can go here championship contender since it's at a B. I mean, it's not an A, but it's still not a C at least. So we'll go ahead and go with that. We actually get Luke here after his visit and that hard sell that we went after with him. So that's another signee. A couple more people just dropping down here. Justin's visit is scheduled for this week. Going into the top 3 schools because we get shut out for Brownlow at defensive tackle and our strong safety Fontanelli. So both of them will now be off the board, having kicked us out of their top 3s. But at least we're still fighting for a lot of these. I don't know how I'm still in this battle for a Lamu. Even though Texas offered him a deal, they're still actually considering us instead of just going to Texas. At this point, I would just sign with Texas. But I'm just going to be happy that he wants to still consider. So maybe we can still sneak him away in this last little session here. So we go ahead and switch over. Get things right here one more time. We tried sending the house. The only thing left to do here would be possibly a hard sell, which we know he has play style playing time. That's 2 out of 3 at least. We're just going to have to hope that he likes the campus lifestyle too as well. That campus personality one has been saving us on a lot of these guys because a lot of these offensive linemen, they're going to get their play time and they really like whatever play style that we have right now, which for me, I would think is just pass heavy, which for tackles, I guess that would make sense that they would want to be in pass pro. So here goes our last rounds of commitments where we get running back Richard Laletta, who I didn't really spend too much time talking about coming to the team. Andrew Paul is going to go ahead and come to the squad. So we have our new running back tandem there with Byron. At right tackle, we get Justin Tanui. So that will help shore up the offensive line. Receiver Keontae Gaddis going ahead and fully committing to the school. Parker Thorne, we're getting some of the high schoolers to finally fully recruit. Mir Yelich is coming through. This must be the last week. Everybody's committing. Kenyon Rousseau at quarterback, they have him listed there as an athlete. Receiver Prince Nwusu is going to go ahead and come to the squad. Henry Tambanasi at left tackle. Left guard Tanner Morley. Center Jake Makula. Free safety KT Shea. Left tackle Rhino Tapatua. Where are these names coming from? Cornerback Dylan Phelps. Halfback Kenyon Hayes. Running back room and receiver room both getting kind of deep here. Demetrius Hill as well as strong safety. So as you can see there, long list of signees is when it comes to the squad. That's 16 people that just committed this week. Now, obviously, we lost up to Caleb there to LSU, or not LSU, Texas, and then Ben Roberts here as well is going to, I think that's Wisconsin. So a total of 27 new recruits here into the team, whether that's between high school and transfers, which most of those are transfers. I'd say actually it might be a 50-50 split because we had a lot on the upper tier. So probably about 50-50 between transfers and high schoolers. A pretty big class, I would say at least. 27 out of the possible 35 that we could have offered a scholarship to. And we did lose a considerable chunk too, so this should help kind of refill the roster a little bit with a lot of depth. As we go and take a look at some of their developments, a couple of guys had some more elite or impact developments, but for the most part, we're dealing with a lot of normal and a couple more impacts here that will help at least raise this team's overall a little bit. We'll have to see what Kenyon Rousseau ends up being here at athlete, because athletes, we can actually change their position. So it's going to be really interesting to see where they actually say he's a good fit at. Now, they listed quarterback when they showed him committing. So that must mean he must have played quarterback in high school mainly, and then just did like a bunch of other like gadget stuff at different spots. So it'll definitely be interesting to see where he fits at. Here's a look here at where the people finish in the nation for their recruiting classes. Clemson on top with 34 total recruits, 4 4-stars, 26 4-stars, 4 5-stars. As between them and Ohio State, that was the most 5-stars signed at 4. Most 4-stars is 28 here by Georgia. Most 3-stars is Duke with 25. As you see, we're up there, in the mix in the top 10, at least 23 different 3-star recruits with a 4-star of our own and 3 2-stars to back that up too as well. It's not a bad class, 50th overall. I'll take that. We're in the top 50 in the nation for best class for one of our lower tier teams. But 25 2-stars there from Miami, Ohio, and then 19 1-stars is pretty. I mean, you just kind of feeling out depth at that point. I don't even know if your team got better with those 1-stars. But here goes like a quick look here at the roster, man. We have the athletes coming up, and it's time to figure out what positions they play at. And I know it's been well anticipated for Enesu, who we think could be our quarterback of the future. They got him at 71 overall right now, and he's a tight end. A 79 overall physical route running tight end, 77 at halfback, 75 at fullback, 72 at receiver. Quarterback is his 5th best position. Here I am thinking I got my quarterback of the future, and he plays tight end. I might have to see what those stats look like at tight end for real. After him, we got to look at Charles Spielman here, who also is a tight end, halfback combo. 68 vertical tight end, 68 backfield threat, 67 contested specialist. Okay, at least he's close in his receiver rating, which is said he was going to be when we were scouting him. 85 speed, 79 catching traffic, 83 spec catch. I think I can handle, moving him to receiver. And then last but not least here, goodness, Kenyon Russo. Is every athlete just a tight end at some point? I mean, he's a 67 physical route runner. His quarterback, he's a 60 overall dual threat. So, yeah, I think this one's a pretty obvious move him to tight end. And, I mean, if we want to get him on the field and he wants to actually develop, 60 overall, I don't think you're going to do anything. Plus, kind of feel bad that we got 2 quarterbacks in the same class. So, I think for sure, I'd at least want to test out tight end. Now, of course, I want to go ahead and look at what their ratings would be at their respective positions to see if I do like them in those spots. So, we're going to go receiver here for Charles, moving him out to wideouts. Kenyon Rousseau. I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to pronounce his name. Kenyon Rousseau, Rasu. Kenyon Rasu. That's what we're going to call him. Kenyon Rasu. We're going to go ahead and put him at tight end. See what his ratings are like. Just because, we have tight end depth here. Wow, he's actually tight end number 2 already. Okay, Kenyon. So 82 acceleration, 83 acceleration, 82 agility, 76 catching. It's one of the best catching ratings here out of all of our tight ends. He's up there. Route running 70 short, 68 medium. Those are at the best, at the peak level too as well. Behind Bean, the other freshman that we brought in, who I thought would take over the tight end spot. He's only 63 overall. All right, so last but not least, let me see what a 79 looks like here in Intosa Onwalu. Because this could be his best chance to get on the field. Obviously, a quarterback, Jaden, stayed here, and we're going to have a quarterback competition. But, 79 overall, 91 speed, which is faster than any tight end we have. So we can really stretch the field vertically. 78 catching, 82 catching traffic. Route runnings are at 77 mediums, 80 short route running, 80 release. Yeah, maybe next year when we do need a quarterback, we can see about moving him back. See if he develops at all. Playing a different position. I don't think he will, but hey, this could help out a lot. So looking at some of our other, freshman pickups, Spielman here, you see he's down here way on the list as our receivers are deep. Gaddis here is above him at a 67 overall though. Yelich is a 63, and Nwosu ends up being underneath the 60s. Now at tight end, obviously, like we mentioned earlier, we have Rosu now and Nwalu. What does that do for Tyson Chavez here at 72 overall? I do want to see if I can change his number. 64 is just not going to cut it at tight end. So let me see if I can just edit this just a little bit. Oh, that's great. So you can't change the numbers? Is that just because he's already in the game, or like he's not a creative player, so I can't change his number, or what? Because 64 at tight end is crazy. You might as well go be on the offensive line. Brian Bean here, best friend mentality. I don't know what that means, but 76 catching, 74 catching traffic. He's got good receiving skills, so he might be able to be on the field too as well. Or at least redshirt him for a year, then bring him back. Now, we have his deal breaker is on right now. I can't remember what his deal breaker is, but we'll have to keep that in mind so we don't lose him. Offensive line, looks like both of them came in at 77, 76. So that's really shoring up the left tackle situation here for me. Guard, Marley's a 79. So that'll help out a lot too as well. As you see, the pass blocking ratings and run blocking ratings are going to be good across the board. So I just wanted to see if we had to move somebody to tackle, could we do so? So both of our guys can get in here and play a little bit. He actually goes up to a 78 overall instead of a 77 when he goes to the guard. So we have him at guard now. Makai at 79. Look, right guard is at a 60. Yeah, so we can move Tanabe over to, or Tabanisi. We're going to call him Henry. Everybody in this game has hard last names. I don't know why everybody got a hard last name. Like, what happened to the days of Watkins and Smith and Parker? Speaking of which, just to even things out here, I'm just going to kind of move a couple of positions around too. I like my positions to be even. Like if we have 6 total guards, I'm not going to have 4 on the right, 2 on the left. We're going to even that out and make 3 on each side. Just see no point in just having 4 on the right, especially when we got freshmen. It can give them a chance to get on the field a little bit here. Like with Robert Parker, we just picked him up, moving him to the left side. We'll give him a shorter chance to get up there as he's only competing with 2 other people. Right tackle 76. So the offensive line did get better across the board for us. Straight at least 75 up for each of those. So we're not having to worry about the O-line, but that'll be a focus here in recruiting for season 2. The D-line, obviously with Trey White, does help a lot. Keenan here is a 59 overall left edge. I mean, he was a 2-star, so what do you expect? But hopefully he can develop nicely. So, look at this. We got, 5 right edges and 2 on the left. So let me move Clayton Keene to the left side, at least to even this out just a little bit here. We're also going to move Carrington over there too as well. Even that up there, 4 and 4. Defensive tackle, we got 4 of them here. This is a weak spot, so we're going to definitely need to look defensive tackle. In this upcoming class, we got no freshmen here at defensive tackle, so we definitely want to look at that area. Looks like our outside backers might be a little bit weak there. Sam and Will both. Corners, we did pick up a couple here. Streeter's actually looking like he could be corner number 3 as a freshman. 66 overall, could be seeing the field as a nickel corner possibly. Either him or Williams or Buxton. Landry and Thorne, though, are pretty low on the pecking order. Both are just solid corners, but 58 overall is definitely going to need some development. 65 might be able to see the field. Hopefully we can see some of these players get into the 80s. I mean, we've seen them come in the 60s. I really hope they can develop into some 80s here. I mean, especially with impact development. Of course, they're going to be on the field and play, but there goes KT here. We just picked up through a transfer portal as a senior. He's going to be our new starting free safety here for us. And strong safety, we still have Josiah Cox there too as well. So we'll go to even this position out here to have 3 at each spot, and possibly look at maybe some of these backup safeties playing in that Mike sub linebacker role or nickel corner like we did last year. We did have 3 safeties on the field. We went nickel just because we had a better coverage standing there. The freshman kicker that we picked up is way better than the kicker we already had on a 79 overall, 86 power, which is slightly less, but 88 accuracy is way better. So we'll have more accuracy. Maybe that's more time to use the kick meter. Dev trade upgrade as impact is now awarded to Jordan up here. Okay, so I didn't know that guys can get their dev traits increased. So he had such a good season, he got upgraded. I'd imagine that means Bostic as well. Dev trade upgraded to star. Definitely want to see him hit the field a lot more this year. And then last one here, it goes to Tanu Latuli, goes to impact. Why did we not get one for Byron Caldwell after the year he had? He almost won the Heisman. But here go our training results. Or maybe it came from training. Maybe it wasn't just off of last year's stats. It was just how they trained. As you see, Jaden here jumps up 2 overall to a 79 or 78 for his senior year. Not too bad. 73 for the backup quarterback freshman. Gets a +4 boost. Accuracies +5 across the board to short, medium, and deep. Definitely like seeing that come in. Throwing the run +5 up to a 79 overall. All right, so if we go halfbacks now, Paul actually gets a little bit of a boost too. Goes up +4 to an 85. Cardwell up +3 to an 83. Okay, so +2 acceleration, +2 speed, +1 carrying, +5 carrying for Paul. I'm gonna have to notice those carrying differences and the speed differences to see if I notice anything different when I try to use them. Because I will be going through some practice to see how guys upgrade a little bit. Is now, okay, Jacob and Jordan are now the same overall. 81 with a +6 boost to Jacob, +5 catching, +4 catching traffic, 94 catching. 81 short route running with that +6 boost that he just got. This just got a lot better with the 1-2 combo. Now I gotta wonder, do I want Jacob to be receiver 1 or stay in the slot, or do both? Be receiver 1 and go to the slot. That's going to be an interesting mix-up with the depth chart. How much less work does Jordan see now because of that? I mean, Bostic did break a lot of records in the Midwestern Conference and for the team. Chavez goes up +1 to 73. Ford, a +6 boost up to 71. +2 to his catching up to a 77. See, the highest catching that's not a freshman is a 78. Route runnings are all in the mid-70s for the short, mid-60s for the medium. So we might see some Jackson Ford there on the field as tight end 3. Offensive line +2, so we have 78. 80 here for Morley, 80 here for Makula, 80 here for Henry. And then 77 here for Justin. Big boost across the board. We almost have 80s across our offensive line, which is great. Nasir goes up +4 at edge rusher. Trey White, I was hoping to see some more development for him. He didn't actually improve anything. He's still a 91 overall. +4 on his play rec. +3 on his awareness, though. +1 on strength. Now we just have to have a big season to see where he gets drafted. Bidet, because I'm not calling him Batty, gets a +9 boost here to 77, so that could be an interchangeable edge rusher when one of them gets tired. Have him kind of come in on either side. That'll be nice to do. Fleming gets a +2 boost to 75, +6 here to Jennings to go up to 73. Tanu up +3 to 83. Jared a +5 there at the backup will to go to 69. Herman's at a 75. I gotta say, I'm really impressed with some of this development. I wasn't expecting to see some of these bigger boosts from the backups. I was hoping the starters had these types of boosts, +5 and stuff like that. But this is great development for guys underneath them. I mean, he's a redshirted freshman at a 69. 2 more years of development. He can compete in the 80s possibly. Corner. We at least got one of them getting into the 80s with Phelps going up to 81. Hunter's at a 77 with his +5 boost. Buxton, a +6 boost to go up to 71. So now the freshman that we did think would play a little bit and just got knocked down the depth chart about 2 more spots, so he might not see the field. He might get redshirted, with Williams and Buxton getting those huge boosts to jump over him, and Hunters as well. KT no increase, but Garrison goes up +3, and then Josiah Cox up +2, almost getting to that 80 here in his senior year. Nice. So overall, I gotta say this team definitely developed pretty well. I gotta say I'm very impressed. +12 bonus to our punter. Sheesh. +14 accuracy going up to 71. +3 to kick power up to 76. I was thinking about going to the redshirted sophomore, but the redshirted freshman might take over the punting job here with that accuracy and overall boost. So the only thing left to do here is encourage some transfers, which I looked at where we are roster size. We're at 79 out of 85. Didn't feel the need to encourage any transfers, so we didn't push anybody out. But I did realign the conferences and remake the Pac-12 here for us. Didn't change up any of the rules or anything like that. 8 conference games. No division changes, but we went and put some of the best teams around the league. We put the 2 independents in there, best teams in some of the lower level conferences, and even added Syracuse from the ACC because they were uneven. So I added the worst team from the ACC in here and put Boise State in here. They were deserving of it. They're in there in real life. So between them, they have 5, 6 different teams that are ranked in this conference. So it's not weak by any standards. A lot of these guys did well in their conferences. Everybody's at double-digit wins except for Syracuse, which probably could get double-digit wins here in this conference. But they went 2-10. Like I said, the worst ACC team coming to maybe take over the Pac-12. So a little bit random as far as where they're located, but I wanted to bring back a conference and give Boise State a chance to play in a higher conference or higher tier. And I thought this would be a fun way to do it by moving the Pac-12 and kind of evening everybody's conference out from here. So nobody has an odd number of teams. Even ours, we actually went ahead and replaced Boise State in our conference here too as well. As you can see, we went ahead and added in Buffalo into ours from the Mid-American. So it's just Air Force. Buffalo will now be our biggest competitors. They had 10 wins in their last conference, so we'll have to face off against them. Obviously, New Mexico gave us a tough game last time. We still got Fresno State, still have Hawaii, still have San Jose State, UNLV that we have to take care of, and it's still going to be a tough road for us to get there. I did not make it easier for us by any means, because we're still going to have to contend with Buffalo, who went 10-4, 8-0 in their conference last year. They deserve a bump up. Now we'll just have to see who our new competitors are going to be. And remember, we're not leaving this conference until we at least win the conference championship twice or win a national championship. If we do either of those two things, either win it twice back to back, win it 3 or 4 straight years, or win a national championship. If we do one of those 3 things, we will be moving ourselves to the Big Ten Conference. So here goes a look at the schedule here. Last but not least, as we go ahead and face off against an FCS school to get started up, our rivalry match to see how we match up against the Big Ten with UCLA, who finished 9-4 last year. We're going on the road to play them at UCLA. Then we're going on the road again to play Middle Tennessee. And then coming back home, as I try to clear up with some of those, like open games with games that made sense on Middle Tennessee, kind of like a little bit of a miniature rivalry. The past history of the postseason, we kind of lost to them in a big game. We're coming back home, though, to play Colorado State, Buffalo, Utah State, on the road, coming back home for New Mexico, going on the road to UNLV, coming back home for Wyoming, Hawaii, Nevada, and then playing on the road against BYU, who actually is a rival of San Diego State. I looked at it's a lopsided rivalry, but a rival nonetheless. as our last game to play here at week 13. So a lot of straight games here. So we're going to have to make sure everybody's stamina stays good. We have the Army-Navy game, which we'll take our bye from before the Midwest Championship. But it's going to be a long, grueling schedule. We have a lot of games back-to-back. We have our 2 bye weeks kind of getting out the way early. And obviously, you see I couldn't change up things in the middle. I could have regenerated the schedule to see if we could have made it more likely, but I'm just leaving it like this. But let me know down below what you guys think. Should I have regenerated the schedule to make it a little bit more friendly for our team? And here's a look at kind of where we look at with some of our ratings. We're a B in championship contender. We have an A in at least one category. It looks like B minus and a B in 2 others. We're an A at campus lifestyle. I don't know how that changes up, but B minus in conference prestige now. As we are still the 7th best conference, we're not up there. The Pac-12 is actually better than us, so don't think I made them weak. They're actually a better conference than us technically still, so Boise State did move up, so you don't have to worry about that. But right now, the B minus isn't too bad. We're a C plus at coach stability. That's mostly just because of obviously I'm a new head coach, and then our coordinators they've been with the school actually less than me. Academic prestige and stadium atmosphere were both at C's. Not too much you can do to do those. You got to win at home to get the conference prestige up. C minus in brand exposure. Again, not much I can do to control that. I can't control if we play on national TV. B in coach prestige, mostly because of me. A C in program tradition. And then a D in athletic facilities, which it says we get that up by getting our stars up. So right now we're a 2.5 star program. Hopefully we can see that boost to a 3 or maybe even 4 star. I don't know how we get kind of that boosting, but last year's bowl game win, I think probably did a little bit something for us. I don't even remember where we actually started out. I think we started out just a straight 2 stars, so now we're 2.5. So looking at the preseason here rankings are some of our needs. Looks like we'll have a total of 21 seniors graduating this year, 9 on offense, 12 on defense. So this year's scouting focus will be heavily on defense, offensive line, and quarterback. Really, that's where we're at. I mean, we're deep at receiver, we're deeper at tight end. They say halfback, but we did get 2 freshmen in, so we probably don't need halfback that much. If anything, it just maybe like a transfer to come in and start, depending on how our junior looks. If he can come in and play it all, but we'll definitely be looking at quarterback because we only have 2. One's a freshman, one's a senior, and I don't think that freshman will be ready to play. So we'll definitely bring in some competition here for Messiah, who's at 73. But look at that, red all over the entire defense. Every position is needed. Left edge and right edge, we're missing 4 people from that position group alone. Are about to be gone. Defensive tackle, we're about to be missing half. Linebackers are about to be all gone. Safeties, we're missing 4 from each position. Corners, it says that we need, even though none of them are seniors. So I don't know why that one's red saying that we need it, but we'll be definitely be focusing on the trenches on defense and quarterback, and then our offensive line. So coming in, looking at some of the recruits here, you see quarterbacks at the top of the board. 4 stars actually interested in our team, recommended. First in their interest board, we have a quarterback here ranked 149 nationally, wants to come here. 406, quarterback at 166. So we have 3 really high picked quarterbacks that want to come to the team. Also looks at right edge there. Hope, a 4-star right edge, has a 2nd on his board. He might want to come to the squad. Now I was trying here to see if there's a quicker way to look and see everybody, but I got really confused over looking at how to line stuff. I was trying to see if we had any 5 stars, but it wasn't showing me the way I wanted it to sort it. So even when I tried to sort by ranking here, it kind of messed it up and moved all my green out the way, and it just wasn't sorting how I wanted it to. We even have receivers that want to come here that are 4 stars, which does suck with how deep we are at receiver. I don't know if we want to go after those guys and just kind of force guys to transfer away and kind of upgrade our receiver room, but as a receiver myself, it's always hard to not go for one. There's a halfback here interested in us at a 4-star rating, so we can definitely boost up that position since it said it was of need, and we need somebody to kind of take over that running back room. So looking at all the guys that have us first, I mean, I'm seeing some O-line, some receiver. I'm really surprised to see quarterback. Edge rushers are here too. Most of them though, see, I'm talking about when I'm trying to sort, I'm seeing 2 stars and 3 stars. So I just gave up on looking on that, and I'm just gonna go by position later and fill out my board. So preseason here, of course, we had no preseason All-Americans nationally. First or second team is always going to be the big schools there. But if we just go just to our conference alone, it's nothing but us. Preseason first team is our entire offense here. Jaden, Andrew, and Byron, Jordan, and Jacob. Our entire offensive line. Our entire defense for the most part, except for defensive tackle. And it's second team, we gave other teams a little bit more shot, but you see we're still pretty dominant in that too as well. So preseason All-Americans and preseason conference championship looks like it's going to be run through by us. And that's exactly what I want to see. So if you guys are ready for season 2 to go and get kicked off next episode, I don't know if it'll be a 1 game or 2 game because we're playing an FCS opponent, but I plan on, if we can get a decent size enough lead, You can play up to 4 games with the freshmen before they lose redshirt eligibility. I'm thinking if we can get built up enough, we let some of these freshmen come in and see and fight for a roster spot. Can you make your way onto this roster, making it deserving of you playing this freshman year and playing your true freshman year? Or are y'all getting redshirted and putting it on the bench? So find that out next time. Let me know who your favorite freshman was, and who you're most excited to see play on the field. And next time out, we're going to get into week 1, and I'll get to show you guys what my recruiting board looks like set up. Catch you guys in the next video. It's been your boy, Coach Smooth, and I'm out. Later.